Okay, there we go. Say, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking time out to tune in. You know, without you guys, I would not have a show, and I'm grateful that you take the time out to hang out with your boy every night. For those that don't know, I've been living under a rock. I am your host, Gary Monroe, the 5-star general. No disrespect to our military, but the people name me the 5-star general because I actually get in wars with different folks, school districts, and all kinds of folks, you know, and that's what they named me. So tonight's program is a program that I've been wanting to have subject matter on for about the last 2 weeks. And I had to make sure I go and do my homework. And tonight we're going to talk about Texas Southern University. Texas Southern University. And for those that don't know, Texas Southern University is located in historic 3rd Ward, Texas, down here in Houston, Texas. And it's a university with a great history. It's a university that has been in the middle of the civil rights movement. 1967, matter of fact. You know, it is what it is. When you say TSU Tigers, you better be saying it the right way, or you're going to have a whole bunch of Tigers ready to step on your toes. But tonight, I'm not here to embarrass the university. I am not here to take sides. What I'm here to do is present fact like I normally do and have a rational discussion with some rational adults. And, you know, TSU is right across the street from my world famous Jack Yates Senior High School. You see, I got my basketball sweatshirt on, you know, and put it in there. They're struggling right now, but it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. For many, many years, TSU has thrived. And for many, many years, TSU has been embroiled in controversy. The question is why? Right now, they're involved in controversy again, which involves their current police chief, Mary Young. I tell you what, let's do it like this. You know, I come with the receipts, and let's see what we come up with. Hold on a second. Let's get this going.
TSU's police chief is speaking only to Fox 26 after suing the university, claiming retaliation. Now, she tells us the university is trying to let her go, all because she spoke up.
But I'm not going to allow you to just make up things about me, especially my name. And when that happened, I just couldn't allow it to happen.
Texas Southern University Police Chief Mary Young says she's suing the university so the truth can come out. She claims her job is in jeopardy because she told her officers to stop acting as personal assistants for TSU President Dr. Lacia Crumpton Young.
They're not there to be an errand person. They're not there to take her to the beauty shop. They're not there to take her to the grocery store. They're not there to do any of those things.
Is that what was happening?
Those things were occurring. There was even a complaint that was called to me about one of my officers holding up the president's ball dress and carrying her purse. And her husband is standing next there. It just looked very disrespectful. So I kind of brought that to their attention, like, we cannot do that.
Shortly after admonishing officers, Chief Young says an anonymous fraud complaint was filed against her, alleging she'd approved overtime pay for officers for hours they never worked.
I don't commit crimes.
So you think this is all retaliation?
Oh, I know it's retaliation. I know it's retaliation, Jonathan, and I'll be able to prove that.
The police chief says several weeks ago she was informed by TSU's president the Board of Regents planned to let her go based on the complaint and an audit. Young's attorney, Ben Hall, says the university broke the law.
She is a police officer of over 2 decades. TSU knows that, but chose not to comply with the statute. The statute says she must be provided with a complaint. It must be signed. She must have a reasonable opportunity to respond. None of that was done.
But a statement from TSU reads in part, a signed complaint was provided to Mary Young on August 25th of this year. and goes on to say the university will continue to handle this personnel matter and allegations of fraud within the appropriate private and legal forums and out of the media. Thursday, a judge granted a temporary restraining order preventing TSU from taking any action against the police chief until both sides can present their case.
The temporary restraining order was needed because I got tired of coming to work every day, and my staff is wondering, like, Chief, you hear the rumor? You hear the rumor? What rumor? It was always a rumor. Oh, they're saying this is your last day.
Now, the attorney, Ben Hall, for the chief, the police chief, says that he has proof that he will present in court if he needs to that there was no fraud involving overtime pay. Also, I'll put TSU's full statement up on our website, fox26houston.com.
So there you have it. That is the synopsis of what we're going to discuss tonight. So what I want to do is I want to hold on a second. I want to say this to everybody out there, whether you're TSU alumni. Why would I believe Texas Southern University is not doing Mary Young wrong when in fact you've done this to two prior police chiefs? Every time they uncover some type of fraud on this campus, you find a reason to do this. You find a reason. You've done this. This is your third time doing this to a police chief. So here's my question. Why should I believe them? Why would I believe that a decorated 20-year veteran of the Houston Police Department, who's never had an issue while she was there, would come to Texas Southern University and commit fraud? Why would I believe that Mary Young, the current police chief that's going through this, why would I believe Texas Southern University when you did not try to remove her prior to her doing some of the things that she did that she found inappropriate? Like taking the president to go and make groceries for the president. We don't pay police officers to go and make groceries for the president. We don't pay police officers to fix the president's dress at, functions. That's not what the police officers are there for. That's not how that works. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, I want to put this comment up. This is an interactive show. Leroy Stegar, if I'm saying your name wrong, Leroy, forgive me. She gave them officers that position. I used to work there. So what are you saying? Giving an officer a position is not committing fraud. And this is what they are alleging that she did. Now, let's be honest with it, man. How many of y'all got y'all job based on the fact that you knew somebody at the job before you got it? Remember when you applied and you needed a job and your homeboy, your homegirl worked there? What's so bad about that if I'm taking this the right way? You know how many elected politicians got their sons and daughters working in their administrations? It's right. Cortez McGee Sr. said the hookup. And a whole bunch of us have been hooked up. I got my first offshore job being working on the drilling rig because my partner's father-in-law was a cook out there. He plugged me in. I got the job. But they are alleging fraud. Why would somebody work somewhere 20 years, never commit a crime, but then show up at TSU and commit a crime? Well, as I said before, there's some issues in the past of Texas Southern University that I want to go over. So let's go see if this university has a checkered past. Are they on the up and up, or is it always some goddamn drama? Let's go in here and find out. Hold on a second. Let's go look at ex-university head in Texas on trial for money misuse. What are they talking about? Let's go in here. Former President Priscilla Slade. Let's read a little bit of this article from 2007. With Texas Southern University struggling to survive as one of the nation's largest historically Black colleges, the former president, once hailed as its savior, faced a state jury here Friday, charged with misspending hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal luxuries. A $1,000 silk canopy for a four-poster bed, $138,000 for landscaping, and $61,600 for a security system are among the items that prosecutors say that former President Priscilla Slade fraudulently billed the public for and kept secret from trustees from 1999 to 2005. According to this article, Priscilla Slade had her own set of rules. If she wanted it, Priscilla Slade was going to buy it. Let's go down a few steps and let's look at something. I want to get into detail of this. All right. Although the indictment broadly charges that Ms. Slade misapplied more than $200,000 in university money and failed to obtain approval for expenditures of more than $100,000, the prosecution's opening specified at least $429,579 in illegal spending. You know, my mama used to tell me, when you're sneezing, when you're talking, you're telling the truth. Although initially paid a salary of $147,500 with an expense fund of $50,000, Miss Slade, then living in her own house in nearby Missouri City, embarked on a spending spree that the board was not aware of, the prosecutor said. Among the expenditures for her house were $48,864 in furniture, $19,021 for landscaping, $21,807 for flooring, $21,878 for roofing, and $14,137 for drapes. By 2005, when her base salary had grown to $248,334 a year, plus $5,200 a month in housing and car allowances, and a $50,000 a year expense account, she built a $1.2 million house in Houston's exclusive Memorial section, where Mr. Ramirez said she misspent $280,000 of the university's money on furniture, landscaping, and security, sometimes using Texas Southern's own vendors. Tell me, is This a university that's forthcoming, or is it a university filled with drama? I don't know. Let's look at something else. Let's go in here and look at something else. Texas Southern University regents link president's ouster to alleged admissions impropriety. The board statement does not directly tie President Austin Lane to the alleged problems, but said he was interviewed before he was placed on leave. You remember Dr. Lane ran out of town after placing Austin Lane on administrative leave last week with no explanation. The Texas Southern University Board of Regents released a statement today that seemingly connects his removal with previously disclosed problems with the admission process. It seems to me, guys, that the Texas Southern University Board of Regents likes removing people without giving them an explanation. And then after they do it, here comes the explanation. The board's January 17th statement does not directly tie Lane to the alleged improprieties for which one employee has already been fired, nor did it clearly state why Lane was placed on leave. Well, if you're going to remove him, shouldn't you tell him why? As the investigation continues, we urge everyone at TSU community to comply with university policies and internal audit and litigation risk management protocols. And we will continue to cooperate with the independent investigations by law enforcement, the statements say. Is this a university that does everything by the book? Or is this a university that is always involved in controversy? Well, I tell you what, let's go in here because I got some more. Let's go in here. Let's go in here and look. Let's figure this out. All right, let's go up in here. And this is an article from June 21st, 2022, this year. Texas Southern Law School replaces dean after less than 3 years of missed. Continued bar challenges, fallout from admission scandal. The Texas Southern University Law School dean is out of a job, signaling continued tumult for a program recovering from an admission scandal that toppled the former university president. Joan R.M. Bullock served almost 3 years as the Thurgood Marshall School of Law first female dean and the 10th dean overall. She took over the job intending to improve the school standards. Bar rates remain low. Between 1/3 and 1/2 of Texas Southern students pass each qualifying exam regularly, ranking last among the state schools. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this article. The admission scandal rocked the school shortly after Bullock took office. A report released in March 2020 detailed a scheme, which has been lining the pockets of an unnamed assistant dean for years. TSU's president, Austin Lane, was also fired amid allegations of not acting properly and informing regents of possible admission fraud at the law school. Is this a university that does everything by the book? Or is it a university that's embroiled in turmoil? Well, I tell you what, let me show you something else. Whether it's academics or it may be athletics, TSU stays on somebody's radar. This is from 2012, October 9th. This is a public infractions report. On August 10th and 11th, 2012, officials from Texas Southern University, along with the former football coach and his representatives and the former men's basketball coach, along with his representatives, appeared before the NCAA Division I Committee on Infractions to address allegations of NCAA violations in several of the institution's athletic departments. The institution is a multiple repeat violator, being initially placed on NCAA probation in 1996. The violations in that case dated to 1992 and included ineligible participation, academic fraud, extra benefits, and lack of institutional control. That probation ended in 2001. By 2008, Texas Southern was back on probation, this time for 4 years as a result of major violations dating back to 2004. The violations in the second case also included ineligible participation, impermissible benefits, and lack of institutional control resulting from an inadequate compliance system. In both cases, the violations occurred in a number of different sports. The institution has been on probation or had violations occurring on campus or both for 16 of the past 20 years, adding to the problem at various times. During the earlier probations, the institution reported to the committee that it was taking certain remedial actions when it actually was not. My question, again, why should we believe anything coming from the Board of Regents for Texas Southern University as it pertains to Police Chief Mary Young? To my knowledge, from what I've gathered, has not done anything wrong. Mary Young comes from an humble background. She's a graduate of James Madison High School. No way in hell somebody would work their behind off for 20 years to go and commit fraud, but yet they don't financially benefit from it. If I'm going to lose my job or lose my career or lose my pension, I should be getting something out of the deal. But she would go commit this fraud to help other people and risk her livelihood. And we're supposed to believe the officials, some of the same corrupt individuals that ran Austin Lane out of town. For what reason? If that man had done something wrong, he would not be at his new university. And I know some people are going to get upset by me reporting on this the way that I'm reporting on it, but I don't care. I stand for the truth. And if you have a problem with anybody saying anything bad about Texas Southern University, then go clean your shit up. You feel what I'm saying? Go clean your shit up. And then that way, nobody will say anything bad about Texas Southern University. But have you guys noticed something strange? Y'all have been keeping up with this case. When Mary Young got this job, she was the toast of the city. All the black elected officials were trying to pick her dress up off the floor. Where are these same black elected officials right now? Why is there so much quietness on this issue? You know why? Because they've been here before. They've done this before. And some of those same elected officials were in office when it happened the other 2 times. So they know how to be quiet when they need to be quiet. You want my opinion? I don't think that Mary Young violated the law. I don't think she violated the law at all. I think TSU, once again, has a president that wants people to be beholden to her. Madam President, let me make you aware of something. Ain't nobody picking up your goddamn dress off the floor. You got a whole husband to do that. Ain't nobody going to make your groceries for you while they on the TSU clock. Ain't nobody doing that for you. Ain't nobody doing that for you. And when all the Negro politicians got behind her and started singing her praises, I already knew some shit was going to pop. I already knew something was going to happen. I just see things from a different light. I look at things not inside the box. I look outside the box. And then, of course, I'll go and do my own research. I don't base everything on what I see in the media. I don't trust the media. I'll go do my own research. And that's what it is. So as I said before, what we have to do, you know, in the perfect world, this is what I would see. This is the way I think things should happen. If you don't want me to work for you, just tell me. Don't try to mess up my career. Like I just said what I said. I told this to bosses when I went corporate America. And I had a company try to do me dirty. And you know why they tried to do me dirty? Because I'm on a drilling rig with some white guys from Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. And they thought they could get away with calling me a boy and telling me they're gutting me. And when I complained about it, I became the enemy. But I fought back. And I won my EEOC case. Because the racism that we had to incur, I wasn't putting up with it. So sometimes you got to fight back. Sometimes you got to fight back. And if, like I told my bosses, look, man, and they tried to get rid of me because I was complaining about the racism. So I just told them simply, if you don't want me here, just tell me. I'll leave. But don't try to destroy my name. Because if you do, you're opening up a hornet's nest. And by the time I finish taking them through that ringer, because they tried to destroy my name, they understood and smelt my cologne in mediation. Let me put it to you like this. This is how I dealt with them. Tried to destroy my name and said that I was too heavy to fly in the helicopters. Well, one, I had the helicopter people on recording. I call that like I was doing a thesis. And can you tell me how you get the people from the bank to the rigs out in the Gulf of Mexico? Oh, we fly them, Mr. Monroe. So do you charge by flight time or do you charge by the weight of the people that you're carrying? This all on tape by the time we get to mediation. Oh no, Mr. Monroe, we don't charge by weight. Matter of fact, we had one last week that weighed 450 pounds. We charge by flight time. Oh, okay, so I got that in there. Then I say, well, okay, they had me sitting at home for over a month. Wouldn't let me go back out in the field. So I filed unemployment because you ain't gonna just have me sitting there not getting a salary. And I was a salaried employee. They gave me my unemployment and I was still employed with the company. Oh, so now you around here defrauding the state of Texas. That's in my envelope. And of course, I had other recordings. So this is how we did them. We went into mediation with the EEOC. We went into mediation. My attorney sitting next to me. Never open their mouth in mediation. I got this unless I need you. The ladies say, Mr. Monroe, you can start first. I say, well, as it pertains to my salary, at that time, I think I was about 33 years old with about 32 more years to retire. I say, as it pertains to my salary, I want my accelerated earnings up until the day that I was supposed to retire, which would be 32 years of $1,800 a week that you owe me. And I'm working at least 40 weeks out the year. So 40 weeks at $1,800 a week. for the next 32 years. As it pertains to my 401k, I want my accelerated earnings as it pertains to what I put into my 401k on a weekly basis and what you contribute to my 401k for the next 32 years. I want punitive damages. My attorney never opened their mouth. I want punitive damages. And the lady say, the mediator looking at me like, God damn. What's your number, Mr. Monroe? I say, according to what I'm looking at, $2.3 million would be sufficient. She say, okay, let me go back in the other room and tell them. Their counteroffer was 1 week's pay and a letter of recommendation. She came back, she said, this is their counteroffer, 1 week's pay, a letter of recommendation. So I said 2.3 mil, and you're telling me $1,800 and a letter. So she said, what's your counteroffer? 2.3 million. I'm not changing. She went back. They came back. Okay, well, tell him we'll give him 2 weeks salary and a letter of recommendation. She came back. She told me, she said, what's your counteroffer? 2.3 million. I never changed. See, because let me tell you something. Put some respect on my name. And that's something everybody out there needs to understand. That when you are in these positions, you're fighting for your reputation. You're fighting for your name. So some days you're going to have to boot up and you're going to have to fight. And I think that's what Mary Young has decided to do. Her name and her reputation is too important to her to lay down to a university whose past can come back to haunt them. This ain't the first time this did happen to a police chief. When are we going to own up to the fact that we're not doing some things right over at Texas Southern University? Now, I plan on going to Texas Southern University Law School as soon as I finish my bachelor's. I want to go to law school, and I decided on TSU, and I want to be on campus. I want to be on campus. But you know what? I'm not really worried about anything because I like to do things by the book. I like to do things by the book. Now, Paula Robnett is a very, very well-educated attorney, good friend of mine. She says law enforcement agencies need to start doing federal background checks on anybody that comes into law enforcement altogether. I totally agree. I totally agree. And if y'all ever need a good attorney, reach out to Paula. She's a beast. She what I call a pit bull in a skirt from the law side. She cold as ice water. But here's my thing. If this has been done before to police chiefs, how can we say that this is not wrong now? How can we just throw Mary Young under the bus based on some things that some of us have heard? We don't know the inner workings of this. We don't know exactly what went on. I don't care what nobody says. Unless you were a police officer under Mary Young, you realistically don't know. And all of us on the outside looking in. Now, this is not one of these situations where I done dug in. No, I ain't got no dog in the hunt. Paula, reach out to Daryl Howard Jr. He wants your information. She's a great attorney. I'm telling y'all, she's a great attorney. So I know that once again, things don't look that good around the TSU campus. But I will say this here. There's a lot of great things that have gone on at Texas Southern University, especially in the last few years that I've been very fortunate to see. And I don't have a problem becoming a student at Texas Southern University. You ain't got to worry about Big Daddy. I love, just the thought of going into a law classroom and debating with my colleagues, with my classmates, say, man, they're going to know I'm dead serious. I don't need nobody to give me a grade. I'm going to earn every last one of them. I like challenges. And right now, education is not a challenge to me. It's pretty easy to me. You know, I'm just walking through it. I mean, I got 1 or 2 subjects that's going to rack my brain. Out the last 6 that I got, I had 7. I got credit for something that I should have got credit for, so that dropped it down to 6. But I want to earn my grades. I want to learn. I want to know everything that I need to know to be a great attorney. You people that are inside corporate America, you need to stop with your bullshit. If you don't want somebody to work for you, just call them into the office. We don't want you here anymore. Stop trying to tear up people's livelihoods. Stop trying to tear up their reputations. And I believe in my heart, because God is never going to lead me wrong. That's exactly what the president and the Board of Regents is doing to Mary Young. If Mary Young was such a bad person, why this didn't come up prior to her stopping her officers from doing what she said? Let me go slow for y'all out there that's listening. Why was she not the horrible police chief that some say that she was? And I've only heard good things about her. Why wasn't she all that before she made them stop picking up the president's dress or stop making them go and pick up groceries? Why she wasn't that horrible person before that? Why could you not give her her due process? You know why you didn't want to give her her due process? See, when they hide the due process, it tells me everything I need to know. And she's represented by esteemed attorney Benjamin Hall. So unless y'all gonna go in the courtroom with a monster, you finna get circles walked around you. Ben Hall is that good. I don't give a damn what nobody tell me. I just sit down and I watch from afar. From afar. He'll have his ducks in a row on this one. Because sometimes we've got to stand up for our people. We've got to stand up for our people. Kenneth Griffin asked, did Chief Young do everything she was hired for? She didn't seem to have a problem with her work performance prior to telling her officers not to pick up the president's dress. There wasn't an issue about her doing her job then. There wasn't an issue where she was committing fraud prior to telling them don't go get groceries for the president. Nothing was said. That tells me everything I need to know. Did I come here tonight to embarrass Texas Southern University? Not at all. Not at all. I will get my JP and my law degree from, Texas Southern. That's what I'm choosing to do. Bernard Lane says, I'm an officer, not a dress holder, period. Exactly. Bianca Robinson, let's put her comment. If y'all want to make comments, I'll put them on the screen. Bianca Robinson is finishing from TSU this year, and you are right. I've seen it all. I've never understood it at all. We have a different fee every semester, and nothing makes sense. Just want my girl to finish and get up out of there. That is a parent of a current Texas Southern University student. I'm going to put her comment back up if y'all want to read it. She said, my daughter is finishing from TSU this year, and you are right. I've seen it all. I've never understood it at all. We have a different fee every semester, and nothing makes sense. Just want my girl to finish and get up out of there. So for everybody that's happy with Texas Southern University, there are some parents and some students that are not happy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to some of those students. And And I'm going to see if I can get them here on the War Zone. And I want them to tell me. Does Texas Southern University need a high-quality police chief? Yes, they do. With some of the murders that's been committed around there. You just had a young man a couple days ago that got sentenced for the murder at one of the apartment complexes around there. When exactly. That's what I was just talking about. Let me put Kenneth's comment up. Hold on a second. Let me put Kenneth's comment up. If people remember, Chief Young was hired after the student was killed on the student campus housing and drug dealing in the open. Chief Young did what she was hired to do. My good friend, let me put Bianca's. She says, I'm not happy, but we will just go with the flow. And my good friend Ali Muhammad says, I've been knowing Mary Miller since she was at Madison and I was at Yale. Then we both went to play at TSU. She should not be treated like this. This is embarrassing. And in case you guys don't know, my good friend Ali Muhammad is a great guy, has a phenomenal son that's in middle school that'll give Tiger Woods a run for his money. I know he'll beat Lil Tiger to death on that golf course. But Ali Muhammad is a true Texas Southern University supporter. He is a true Texas Southern University Tiger. And he's saying she shouldn't be treated like this. Nobody should be treated the way that Mary Young is being treated. And those people that are appointed by the governor of Texas to sit on the board of regents, you should be ashamed of yourself right now. You ran Austin Lane out of town for what reason? You shitted on Dr. Lane. And now you're doing this to Mary Young? Why is it that black people continue to eat black people? Why is it that we continue to drag our own people down these rabbit holes? When we make or we succeed and get to positions that can actually elevate us or elevate more of us, we find a reason to remove us. Explain that to me. See, it ain't the white man that's messing up black America. Black folk do it to their own people every day. We do it to our own people every day. Let me put up Queen B's comments. If you're upset with our school, why is your daughter there? The fees are based on the lack of funds we get. If you studied more, then you would understand. Kenneth Griffin said he had more publicity than the so-called HNICs. That I agree with. Why do our people always do stuff then hide their hands? And Queen B also said we do it to ourselves as Young is doing. We definitely do it to ourselves. We complain about the young people eating up the young people, but the old people in position of powers will eat us up in a heartbeat. They will eat us up in a heartbeat. I can't say we need to stop doing that to each other because it doesn't matter what I say. Some Negroes going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it no matter what. I really wish they could have solved this in-house where it didn't have to come out. But I'm going to tell y'all something. When you attack some of these people's reputations and their names, they are going to fight back. Hold on a second. I got documents coming. Let's see how you tear TSU down after I produce these documents. Nobody's tearing TSU down. Can somebody justify to me where I've done that tonight? No. No. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that the truth needs to be told. And if TSU is not right in this manner, it needs to be exposed. And if Mary Young violated the law, then so be it. Let the chips fall where they may. If she committed malfeasance while being a police officer, let the chips fall where they may. You feel what I'm saying? So my thing is if any of you would like to offer any evidence to prove that this lady has violated the law, you're welcome to send them to my inbox. Especially if you're on Facebook, just upload them and send them to my inbox. But I want this to be understood. I've never met Mary Young a day in my life. I've never met the president of Texas Southern University a day in my life. And when I become a student at Texas Southern University, I don't need to meet either one of them. I'm not there for them. I'm there to accomplish my goal. I'm not there to take pictures. I'm not there to do anything except go to class and do what I'm supposed to do. I'm laser focused. So, guys, as usual, I appreciate what you've been doing. I appreciate the outpouring of love. I appreciate you guys standing in the gap and doing what you need to do to help people every day. Whether they black, white, don't matter to me. I got to stand up tomorrow. I'll be in Commissioner's Court in the morning. I'll be at a press conference at 6 o'clock in front of Yates, and I'll be at a community meeting at 7 o'clock. That's what I'll be doing. So once again, thank you for taking the time out to tune into my show and get ready, because in January, we going live in the studio. So if you want to be one of my studio members, we'll be giving them, and the shows are free. I'll give away free tickets for you to come sit in the audience as I interview different people, but we taking this platform to a different level to be able to get more information out. And I want you to understand something. There are stories that I cover that the media never touches. And that's why I consider myself the new black media. I consider myself the new black media. But the one thing I know, lady told me this tonight. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna put this on a t-shirt. Never correct your enemy when they making mistakes. I don't have time for it. I applaud you guys. Thank you so much as usual. It's the War Zone with the 5-star general. I said what I said.